UTTV presents Clothing on a Budget, and here with this week's demonstration is your host, Tyler Campbell.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's show. My name's Tyler, I'll be your host, and today we're going to be teaching poor college kids like myself how to be fashionable for cheap. One of the biggest fashion icons in today's world is Kanye, but one of the problems with the Yeezy season is a sweater costs like $750. I got this sweater here for $5, and we're going to try to make it look a little better. There's a couple things we're going to need for this. I got a set of X-Acto knives. Probably don't need all of those, but they're good to have for different textures of cuts, and just plain old scissors. I have this sweater, got it at Goodwill for $5. Same thing, Goodwill, $3. Pants from Rue 21, $8. So yeah, we're really cheap for sure. So we're going to start off with our scissors, and we're going to start on the collars, the sleeves, and the bottom of the sweater. And you're going to grab right here and kind of roll it up. This one doesn't roll very well, so we can just pinch it like that. And you're going to grab your scissors and kind of just cut all the way around. Make little different holes, different varieties. And you can also cut around the edge of it without pinching it, just to give it a little character. For some reason, clothes with holes in them have always been popular. Just can't afford any for $700, that's for sure. So just keep doing that with a variety size of holes. Keep pinching it so it cuts all the way through, but you don't want to make them too big because then it'll be way too noticeable. All right, now we've done that, go to one of the sleeves here. And I'll show you what that looks like real quick. Just kind of a rugged look. Some of those holes may be a little too big, but it'll be all right. We're going to go to one of these sleeves now. This will be a little easier because you can actually fold these up. All right, we'll move on to this one. You don't want to get too crazy because then you'll just look absolutely homeless. And that's never a really good thing. Just a little texture in there. We're going to go to the bottom part now. That one doesn't roll up either, so we'll just kind of do some little marks there. I don't really have time to show you the full extent of it, but if you keep doing this with different size holes, different size cuts, you'll be fine and it'll look good. Just trying not to cut my fingers here. Okay, so now that we've done the collar, the sleeves, and the bottom, we're going to just open your scissors up and just go all across the torso and the chest like so. You're going to make sure you hold it very tight. This sweater's kind of hard because it stretches a little bit, but just hold it on a really hard surface. And just go at it. Creates a little texture on there, makes it a little different. This sweater's really hard because it's super thick. But you get the idea. With a smaller, or with a less thick sweater, it'll look a little better because you'll get some actual holes in there. But that looks good as well. When we get back from our break, I'll show you a little more techniques we can use on this thinner sweater. And then we'll show you how to cut up some pants a little bit.
Are you tired of waking up and seeing hideous surprises on your face?
Mom!
What's wrong, sweetie? What's all the yelling about?
I had this huge sit on my face. I can't go to school and let my friends see me like this. Son, trust me on this one. Use Zap-Zit. I used to have acne too, and I was really embarrassed by it. Once I found Zap-Zit, my face got clear, and I found the woman of my dreams.
Zap-Zit is guaranteed to work and is recommended by...
All right, Now we're going to show you what it looks like on a little more thin sweater, just because I personally think it looks a little bit better. It also has to do with the color of the sweater. That other sweater was really dark, so you can't really see the different changes. But you'll see this one looks a little more distressed since it's a little lighter. And another cool thing, one of the things I like the most is actually using these X-Acto knives, except you have to be very careful. Hope I don't cut myself. And then you'll just apply a lot of pressure. Make sure you're pointing away from your hand. Oh, make sure it's screwed all the way in too. Just put. And you can just do a couple lines like that. Looks pretty cool. You just do that all over. Make sure you don't cut yourself. I wouldn't recommend kids using these, obviously. Just adds a little extra something to the sweater. And it definitely does look better on this light gray one. All right, now we're going to move on to these pants. Pants are really the biggest thing that people like to put holes in for some reason. And these don't have any in them so far, so we're going to see what we can do. We're going to take our X-Acto knife because the scissors probably wouldn't work very well on this one. You're going to try to find the knee. Do the best you can. And then same technique, apply pressure and just cut a little bit with the X-Acto knife. And I like doing the multiple lines that are close together. And there you go. There's an $80 pair of pants that you would get from PacSun. And they were $9. You can also use the scissors for this. It just doesn't work as well. You can't tell a whole lot on that one, but it still looks all right. Here, let's go to this other knee. You just want to make sure you have some variety in where you put all the spots and you don't get too crazy with the designs. So we're going to go up to the thigh a little bit and do some. Just a couple marks in there. And you want to make sure you don't cut too hard because you will go all the way through and no one wants to see your underwear. All right, now we're going to move on to the t-shirt now that we've done the sweater and the pants. This is one of my favorite shirts, but it's too big for me now, unfortunately, so we're going to have to mess it up a little bit. I'm going to show you how to make a scoop neck. You're going to find the middle of the seam, and you're going to cut down just a little bit. This one's actually pretty hard because you got to have a really steady hand. That was probably way too far of a cut. And then you're going to gradually get closer to the seam as you cut all the way around. Obviously not going to look as clean as store-bought, but it's going to be a lot cheaper. Just want to make sure your cuts are as even as possible. It's very hard to do though, especially on live TV. We're almost all the way around. Just a disclaimer, this is not going to look great. Just learned how to do all this stuff yesterday, but it does interest me. And it's not that hard. That's the beauty of it. Anyone can do this. And we definitely don't have money to be spending on clothes. So there you go. Scoop neck t-shirt. Doesn't look that cool. I'll probably throw it away at some point because I cut it all crooked and stuff. But anyways, yeah.